Hello everyone. Today our topic is electronic investigation. So let's dissect this topic in complete depth. Let's start with introduction first. Computers and other electronic devices are integral parts of modern life. Some time ago, a single computer filled an entire room. But today, a computer can be held in the palm of your hand. The same technological development that has helped law enforcement is being exploited by criminals. Computers can be used to commit crime, can contain evidence of crime, and can even be targets of crime. Understanding the role and nature of electronic evidence that might be found, how to process a crime scene containing potential electronic evidence, and how an investigator might respond to such situations are crucial issues. The law enforcement response to electronic evidence requires that officers, investigators, forensic examiners, and managers play a role. A first responder may be responsible for the recognition, collection, preservation, transportation, and/or storage of electronic evidence. Nature of computer-based electronic evidence. Computer-based electronic evidence is information and data of investigative value that is stored on or transmitted by a computer. As such, this evidence is latent evidence in the same sense that fingerprints or DNA evidence is latent. In its natural state, we cannot see what is contained in the physical object that holds our evidence. Equipment and software are required to make the evidence available. Testimony may be required to explain the examination and any process limitations. Computer-based electronic evidence is, by its very nature, fragile. It can be altered, damaged, or destroyed by improper handling or improper examination. For this reason, special precautions should be taken to document, collect, preserve, and examine this type of evidence. Failure to do so may render it unusable or lead to an inaccurate conclusion. The investigation process includes following steps. Devices subjected to digital investigation are as follows. So this was our lecture for today. If you like the content, subscribe, like, and share the video. Stay blessed.